This week on Storytime at the Roo Bus, me and Sharla are finally back in the bus, and we found out the next day that the schedule has dropped. So we've got a lot to go through. Let's get going.
Welcome to Storytime at the Roo Bus, a weekly podcast about Bonnaroo and other festivals. I'm your host, Sharla.
I'm Daniel, and I'm so glad to be back in here. I think it was around August or September that we were in here last recording an episode. It got a little too cold after that, and we've been all over the place the past month or so.
We have.
I'm so happy to be back in here. We've started to clean the place up inside and out. I was up on top of this thing a couple of weeks ago with a pressure washer when it was a nice warm day. I was in here for an hour leading up to this, cleaning the place out with like a leaf blower and Windex on this table and other things.
So Skylar highly recommended the Abyssal Little Green Machine. It's like a steamer carpet cleaner type thing. So I ordered that, and I'm so excited for it to come in so I can clean not only the inside of the house, but also the bus as well.
Oh, yeah. There's a few places back here. It got a little muddy last year during that mess. You know, it's funny. I have been in here cleaning a lot of things up and organizing like well before, the past month or so. But there's still a lot in here that is kind of a time capsule of last year. I'm finding a lot of bits and pieces that I forgot that people gave me in the day or two that we did have. It's weird. Like, I'm seeing things that I haven't seen in about 6 months that have like mud on them. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what happened to that. That's why that's dirty. It's kind of weird.
Our entire camp, I'll be very honest and blunt, it got so damn trashed last year. So trashed.
Well, I don't put that on anybody. You just couldn't help it.
Oh, I put that on somebody, but we're not going to talk about that.
Well, I don't. We're going to have to disagree on that because everything was just so chaotic. I don't blame anybody. We made a mess too. I don't think we've ever dealt with anything like that. We have dealt with, a little bit of rain.
Yeah, nobody can help the weather. Nobody can help the weather.
But yeah, things are looking good in here. I'm starting to slowly get things organized. I've been putting things back into particular shelves back there, like where they ought to go. That wasn't always the case. And back here behind the big bed in the back, I've been starting to organize that a little bit better. And I'm finding things that I forgot that we had in some cases.
So, Daniel, what do you think we have left to do now that it's only a couple months away?
Well, I want to get this thing clean. I want to make sure that these wasps are out of here. I saw one or two flying around back here. Yeah, we need to put a bug bomb or something up in here. It just happens when you have something like this sitting at your house. They find ways to get in, but we'll take care of that. I think everything in here is close to the way that I want it. I probably need to wash these sheets. I think I already did, but I'll just brush them off, something like that. I want to be better about organizing.
There's a stink bug.
Uh-oh. We'll take care of that. He's not stinking things right now. But yeah, I want to organize a little bit better. I want to be able to walk in here and know exactly where something is. That also is going to fall on me to put things back where they're supposed to go. I'm sure everybody knows once you get to Bonnaroo, you think you're going to be organized. You think you know where you're going to put everything. And most of us do not put things where we think they should go.
There was a great thread on Reddit the other day, and it was like, what is your unusual camp organization hacks or something like that? I don't remember. Or what is something unusual you bring to camp? What is something different? And I said, I've seen a lot of people do a shoe organizer, and that's something we used to bring when we didn't have the bus or whatever. I've seen a lot of people do a shoe organizer, and they'll hang it up at their canopy. A lot of people in our group do that. And that's where you can put, like you're saying, the things that you fail to put back, the things that you're always looking for, that you just lay down and you can't find them. Things like your lighters, your headlamps, your sunscreen, your plasticware, just little things like that you're always pulling out of your pockets, you're always pulling out of your fanny pack. Put it in a shoe organizer.
Yeah. I think something that you have to do is think ahead about future you. What is normal, everyday you planning that future insane feral you can put to use later on. So it's like, okay, I'm doing a favor for my future feral self by labeling this. This is where this thing should go. So like charge cables or like first aid supplies, snacks, all these different kind of things. I've already been working on that back there today.
I want to get something to go like right up here at the front of the bus because that's normally where like when I'm coming in and out of the bus, that's normally where I put my important stuff like my phone.
Yeah, because
so it's like
you come
a little organizer thing right there. Yeah,
you come in and you're like, "Oh, I'm in here. Let me sit this down. I'll remember later." And then a million crazy things happen, and then you don't remember, and you're like, "Where did I put that?"
But no, I usually put my phone up there, so I do remember that.
That gives me an idea. this probably would work for everybody, I think, whether it be in your tent or an RV or this thing, whatever. Have like a catch-all. So like a lot of people do that. Well, think about this. So a lot of people have like a little bowl. So like when you get home from work, you're like, okay,
and
my
you
wallet,
put your keys there, yeah.
There needs to be a catch-all for us in the bus. So it's like, okay, my whatever is going in this little box. So I know whenever I'm coming in and I'm putting something down, when I'm leaving and I need that thing, it's going to be in this little box.
Exactly. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Just like, it doesn't even have to be a shoe organizer. Just like a little, it could be a cardboard box. Like like a extra Amazon box. Who cares? Like just set it there and that's where you put all your stuff that you're laying down.
I think I'm going to try that.
Do you remember that SNL skit about the catch-all?
No, I don't.
It was, somebody got it for Dirty Santa and somebody sold it and they really desperately wanted the catch-all and they got so pissed off about it.
I don't remember this at all. I'll have to look this up. There's a lot of SNL sketches I remember
think it's
by heart.
from Last Christmas.
Yeah. I vaguely remember this.
So mad about it. I don't really remember.
You'll have to pull that up and show me. But yes, we are starting to prep. You probably have noticed we're like in the high 60s as of the time that we're recording this for days that are left. We're in the 2-month range, so it's time to really start be thinking about the sort of things that we're talking about.
There's still some stuff I want to do with the bus that I haven't talked to you about.
Okay.
Because Daniel and I will disagree on things with the bus.
Yeah? Well, that's okay.
But see, here's the thing. I own the bus.
It's technically in your name.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I've been saying.
So does that mean I can overrule you? Do I get a higher?
I've been saying, though, I'm doing a lot of the work, though. Like, I've been replacing the battery. I've been doing the maintenance. I was in here for an hour and a half cleaning up the place. Sweat equity.
Well, I was doing homework.
Yeah. Just putting it out there. Okay, we will have to talk about this off camera.
Yeah. Well, you might like it. You might like it. You might be all about it. I don't know.
She hasn't even told me what it is, but I'm down for whatever. We have to talk about a couple of projects that we want to do. So the Talk to God thing, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. I'm working on something else that I'm not really ready to put out there publicly because I need to make sure that I have everything I need for it and that we have space for it at camp. I have told you about this a time or two. If I can confirm I can make this happen, I'll talk about it on the podcast. Maybe I want it to be a surprise.
Yeah.
There are a handful of people that do know about this.
I don't know what it is.
I'm going to save this in my back pocket and talk about it in the future. We do have a couple of things to talk about. There was a bit of news that kind of unofficially dropped last night. We're recording this on Easter Sunday evening. We're about to have an Easter Sunday roast here in a little bit. I'm excited about that.
You are.
Well, you can pick on it if you want.
Roast has been in the refrigerator for 1,000
It's good. The expiration date is not for a few weeks.
All right, resorting.
My grandpa would freeze food and put it in the freezer in the garage for years and years. But that's beside the point.
Depression. They got this here depression on.
I got to do for me and mine. All right. So, yes, there was some news that kind of sort of dropped last night. So, on a Saturday night of all times, our good friend, Corey, God bless him, he comes on the Discord and is checking in with everybody and has a couple of updates. So let's do the good news and bad news. Which would you rather have first, the good news or the bad news?
Give me the good news.
The good news is that it sounds like the schedule will be dropping in the next week or two or 3.
Cool.
That's good to know. All right, everyone. So we are recording this a day after we were sitting in the bus. And in that day, I've made it up to Boston very clearly. How are you, babe? I see you're working on your helmet over there.
Yeah, I'm actually working on my astronaut helmet. I actually make it using paper mache, which is really, really super cool. Last year, I didn't really like the one that I made, so I'm hoping to do it a little bit better this year.
All right. I trust your handiwork on that. So we won't take very long because this is going to be edited into the bit that we already did on the bus yesterday. But in this time since we speculated on the schedule coming out, it has come out. In fact, everybody is going to see it on the screen already if you're watching on YouTube. So we're really going to take a moment to dive through this, and we'll go more in depth on it on next week's episode. Sharla, before we dive into this, we're looking at the Thursday one already. Was there any brutal schedule conflicts that already came up for you?
On Thursday?
I mean, there's none on Thursday, obviously. We'll go through this super quickly. One thing I do want to say
I'm playing.
Yeah, I know. No, we're all seeing the same thing on Thursday. I'm a little surprised that Fortet and Skrillex are getting an hour and a half. I honestly expect that we were going to be getting more of Skrillex. But
yeah, did you see what Festival said today about Skrillex?
No, I've been traveling. What did they say?
Okay, Festival said that Skrillex basically could play longer or something like that. I don't know. I'd have to pull it up.
Well, that's funny because Catlow is supposed to be playing in the campgrounds after Skrillex is done. So that's going to be a long night of playing it by ear. But yeah, I kind of suspected that was going to be the case. All right, we're going to go quickly. If I can get this darn thing to work, we're going to look at Friday. All right, here we go. For the record, you have to expand it. All right, here we go. So Friday, I love that we're going to be getting Grizz and then the Strokes. So I'm basically going to be camping out at the What stage that evening. Was there anything that jumped out to you?
Okay, so I've already looked at Friday. So the very first thing I'm going to go to is my girl, Goldie Boutelier.
I knew you'd be excited about that.
Then I'm going to go to Blues Traveler. Then I'm going to try to go to Wet Leg. And then, I don't know. That's all I got to.
Geese is probably a must-see for me because they've got so much height behind them. I'll probably go right from Geese to Grizz and then just camp out for the Strokes. Now, we mentioned this elsewhere on this episode, but I think that's the day that we're going to be having our live podcast early in the day. So we might have some conflicts with that. We'll have to figure it out later.
There's nothing really in that time frame I want to see. Oh, wait, hold on.
Go back to Friday?
Yeah, because, I really want to see. Oh, no, we can't be doing the podcast then because Blues Traveler is in my top.
I know. I think in theory we would be wrapping up at 5 for the podcast, so you would still be able to go see a portion of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still waiting on confirmation on the time.
You know who's a absolute must see, will not miss on Friday for me?
Who?
Scroll on, keep it going.
Who is it? That's all the way to the bottom.
John.
Yeah, this is something I'm having.
Our Lord and Savior, Jonathan Smith.
Jonathan Smith, that's his name. I legitimately did not know that. That is going to be tough on me because Turnstile is a must-see. So I'm probably going to see the first half of Turnstile and then go over to Little John. As much of a crowd as it would be.
I have missed being in the pit with our man JB, our friend Jables, JB, J-Bone. All these times that he's gone viral, I will not miss it this time.
I know, but I got to go to at least a little bit of Turnstile. Well,
but 369.
It'll have to be a play-by-ear situation. All right. I did want to talk about what's happening on Saturday. I think there's one conflict that is brutal for so many of us. Why in the world is Alabama Shakes playing the exact same time as Passion Pit? That one is brutal. Brutal.
I agree.
Like, I'm going to go with the Shakes in that case, but man, I am bummed out that they made us choose in that situation. I feel like that is laser targeted towards us millennials. Like, hey, you have to choose. They are purposely breaking us apart, and I don't like it very much. But did you see the other thing that's happening at the exact same time? Did you see the Steve and Corey are dead thing? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I know what that is, but I didn't realize it was happening at the same time. Well, shit.
Is. So Corey and Steve the Booker are going to be playing some of their favorite jam tracks over there at the Where stage at the exact same time as Alabama Shakes and Passion Pit. It's kind of wild.
No.
The late night is going to be a tough choice for a lot of people, with Weird Al playing at the same time as OCs and Freddie Gibbs and Chase and Status, but I'm going with Weird Al. Anybody rational is going with Weird Al in that situation. And I do think it's weird that Closey is only getting like 45 minutes on the Where stage at like 2:45. That's kind of odd.
Would you let me talk, please? Please scroll back up, please. Do not miss Trixie Mattel. For the love of God, I don't know why Trixie Mattel is playing at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That seems unreasonably warm for Trixie Mattel to be playing in a tent at 4 p.m. at Bonnaroo on a Saturday or whatever.
That'll be tough.
But praise be, Trixie Mattel, do not miss that show. And then I'm going to Trixie Mattel, and then I'm going to stay for Wyatt Flores.
I don't know a lot about them. I will check more of that out. But that's the same time as Amyl the Sniffers. So bye. I'll be going to see them. That's probably the number one must-see of the whole weekend for me.
We have such different taste in music.
We do, and that's okay. All right. We'll do more of this next week, but tell me what's interesting to you on Sunday.
Sunday, Trombone Shorty.
Yeah, that'll be
because
fun.
That's like a classic band.
Yeah. Right before that, a must-see for me is Spacey Jane on the Witch starting at 2:45.
I used to be really, really into them. And then I haven't listened to them in a long time.
You got me into them. I'm still into them. I'm excited for them.
Have I gotten you into Car Machine yet?
Yes, you have. I like them a lot. The tough choice for me on Sunday is between Kesha and Modest Mouse, but I've seen Modest Mouse twice, so I'm going with Kesha. But I am bummed that LSZ is going to be the exact same time. That's another tough conflict for me. But anyway.
Go to the Kesha Super Jam the day before?
I do plan on going to the Kesha Super Jam. A lot of our friends have been excited for that. I will probably leave early to go see our friends in Flip Turn before that's over, but I do plan on being there, yes. By the way, I'm in Boston, and I saw that Flip Turn is playing the MGM right behind Fenway Park here before too long.
Wow.
It's insane how much they've grown. I'm so happy for them. All right, but anyways, we will dive way more into this next week. We just wanted to edit a little bit in because there was a surprise drop right after we recorded from the bus yesterday. So I guess while I'm here, go Sox. Seeing them the next 2 days. All right, good work on your helmet, babe. I'll let you get back to finishing it.
Bye.
We'll return to your normally scheduled episode. Now, here's the bad news. It looks like there is a possibility that we could lose the Who stage. So I'm going to read his quote here. This is public. This is on the Corey Standard Time on the Festiverse Discord.
And that's the Live Nation Discord.
Yes, that is the one that they run. But he was talking with everybody about this kind of thing. And here's the quote, and I'll put it on the screen in the edit as well. He was responding to BK Stogner. He says, "Ask me again here in a few weeks about the Who stage. With the lower capacity this year and resulting reductions, it's going to be hard to make Who happen unless we're able to have it presented kind of like the Toyota Music Den a few years ago." So it's kind of feeling like it is a financial barrier that they may not be able to jump over. I don't know enough to be able to talk about how much it costs for the stage and security and all the equipment that they have to transport in. But I personally do know from having talked to a couple of the acts that have played over the years that they don't get paid very much, if at all.
No.
They get like camping and their tickets, but I don't think they get paid anything in a lot of cases.
There was a thing going around on the social media app Threads last year or the year before, I'm going to say, and they didn't name themselves, but it was a band that had played the Who stage, and basically they had to pay to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time they put in all their work and stuff, they had to pay to be there. Long story short.
It is something that I want to stay at Bonnaroo. I feel like it is something that is a good look for a lot of local Tennessee area indie bands that would never get that kind of look otherwise.
Not necessarily Tennessee area.
Well, all over, but there's been a lot. The Crumb Snatchers last year, for example, they're based in Nashville. We love them. I'm glad they got to get the look before everything rained out. They got to play 2 shows. They played the Who stage, and then they came down to the Group Plaza. They're fantastic. I love them. I think losing that does 2 disservices. It robs us of great up-and-coming bands.
I agree.
That we would never see otherwise, and it robs those bands of that opportunity to really get a leg up. And I think those kind of acts are having a tough time right now because they are dealing with inflated costs for everything too. Gas is $4 or more a gallon, so it's tough for them to tour. Costs for all these kind of production things have gone up as well. So it sucks that a big opportunity to play Bonnaroo that they wouldn't have got otherwise may be going away, and I don't like that. I haven't really had a lot of problems with the various aspects of shrinkflation Roo this year until this happened. And I get it that like Roo is trying to come in under budget, but I feel like this is something that should have taken more priority. I would have been happy to lose a number of things other than this.
So here's a good question. Does it need to be limited then to Tennessee local type bands? Did I need to just scale it back to that? What would you think about something like that?
Yeah, I like that idea. I think that Roo giving back to the local music community is great. I think there are a ton of bands in a very short radius that would appreciate the look. Probably in part because they're often Bonnaroovians.
Right.
They would be going in any case, whether they're playing or not.
Right.
So you have a big music community in Nashville, but there's a growing one just up the road in Murfreesboro. There's a good one just down the road where the What Podcast is in Chattanooga. We have a good one here in Huntsville.
Also
Knoxville. There's a very good music community in the Shoals area, Florence and Wilshire Shoals, where we're originally from, and many other towns as well. They used to have this Road to Roo thing, which It got a little messy towards the end, but it was a cool
The
idea.
whole thing.
Yeah.
So I always loved the way that Sloss Fest in Birmingham did it. They actually had a stage for local bands. They actually had a stage for local bands. I have no idea how you got involved with it, but they had a stage for local bands, and I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, I wish more music festivals would do that. Have like, just a cost-effective way of showcasing the local music scene. And you have people that come in from all over the Bonnaroo. It used to be probably from more. I don't know the exact demographics, but you at least have a lot of people coming in from all over the eastern half of the U.S. Why wouldn't we give the look to our local musicians?
Right, exactly. Because like I said, there was, and you guys can look it up, there was a thing going around on Threads, and it was a band that said they basically had to pay to play Bonnaroo. And everyone was giving them so much crap, like, oh, you should have hired a videographer and promoted this on social media. And they were like, do you know how much that costs? Like,
listen, Sharla and I have been doing music stuff for, probably 15 years now. In different aspects, even before we even did anything Bonnaroo. And I can tell you, a lot of bands that in your hometown that are doing well from one perspective, they're not making that much money at all. Like, even if you see them playing every weekend and going to other towns other than your own, like, that's a side gig for them. That's not the day job. Like, they're barely scraping by, especially now. So the less opportunities they get, the less acts we have in the future. There have been so many acts that have played that old Miller Lite stage or whatever the heck it was, or the Who stage, that graduated, and just a few short years later, we're playing this tent, that tent, whatever.
I think that's why, and this is going to get off topic a little bit, but I think that's why it bothers me so much when I see someone who's never played a single show before and just suddenly pops up and they're playing these giant crowds.
Industry plants.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you literally look up the history of them and they don't have one.
We can go in that rabbit hole.
Yeah. There was someone that played Bonnaroo, and I don't mean the Who stage. They played one of the tents last year or the year before. And I was like, oh, who's this? Let me look them up. And they were like on the last line. They had just graduated from high school, and their last gig was like a high school talent show.
Yeah. I mean, that's any kind of entertainment industry. There's always going to be nepo and such.
That's a whole other thing. So back to the Who stage.
Yeah, I do think that is a good route to avoid that kind of thing, to avoid these supposed industry plants. I know you get into a little bit of conspiracy theory with that sort of thing.
There's no conspiracy
Well, I'm not
theories.
saying you do. I'm just saying, you see that narrative a lot. And I think in some cases that we may never fully know about, is some truth to that. But I think for the Who stage, you're largely devoid of that. And I think you also get the opportunity with the Who stage to see more traditional bands, like people coming in with their guitars and drums and stuff, not necessarily just a guy with a laptop. I think it provides a good opportunity to see that more, homegrown, more DIY kind of act that you don't get to see that much anymore these days with so much EDM.
I saw a band walking from, I forget where the Who stage was that year. I don't remember. But I saw a band that had just came off the Who stage and was walking with all of their equipment, just walking through Bonnaroo, having to tote it themselves.
Man, all the respect in the world for those kind of people that are putting in the sweat equity for that. Yeah, it sucks if we lose those kind of acts that are closer to being on the ground, who actually take part in Bonnaroo. Like the Crumb Snatchers, for example, they played their show. They've been reaching out to so many of us. Like, they want to be involved with things. They are part of the community. They're not one of these bands, which, not to be negative about it, this is just the reality for some bands. They just come in for the day, then they're out because they're on to the next show.
So I would love for them to just scale it back and make it a local thing. And I don't even mind having something like that sponsored. I think something like the Miller Lite stage or Toyota Music Den, whatever, is fine.
If it means that we get that, I don't mind if it's sponsored by like Trojan condoms or whatever the heck it may be.
Sins, whatever. That's what I had last year, Sins.
Do you remember back in the day there was like a plane with one of those ads like on the beach with Trojan condoms?
I was sitting at the Witch stage one year, and this is back in like 14, 15. I was sitting there, and I swear to God, a pack of condoms just landed in my lap.
Did they throw it out the plane?
Somebody threw it from somewhere. And I'm like, do I look like I need these? Like,
I like that this combats the narrative that a lot of like 17 and 18-year-olds are probably telling their parents, like, oh, no, nothing like that happens at Bonnaroo. And there's some guy piloting the plane. Here, kids, have a good time. Be safe. Whatever. I can't remember the last time I saw one of those kind of flying ads was. You know things are getting crazy when you see those flying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, yes, we hope they do bring back the Who stage. Maybe they figure something out. And I do want to give Corey credit. Corey knows we love him to death. We just see this from a different perspective because we're not front of house. He is working with Matt and Andrew to have some of those kind of things at the Group Plaza tent. We are going to be providing, or they've booked it all. They're going to have some of those kind of things at the Group Plaza. Maddie has told me that they are going to be having an announcement before too long about that. You'll see who is playing. It's pretty good. I've seen most of it. It's pretty darn good. And I talked with Corey, and we may find if there are more opportunities to utilize that stage to have those kind of acts.
Yeah,
so
cool.
This is not a done deal. I think they're just considering their options, and we may get the Who stage after all. It just doesn't look very good at the moment. Hopefully they can find a sponsor, or we can have some of that opportunity available over there at the Group Plaza, But yeah, also, like I said earlier, the schedule is on its way. I think we're looking at, I don't know, he was a little vague about that, but it seems like sometime in the next week, 2, 3, something like that. Things are starting to happen. Hey, before we move on, you brought something for us. Can we have this here?
We have some tequila
This is
shots.
why you should be watching this on YouTube.
Yeah, I dressed
All
them.
right.
So, what do you have? What glass do you have?
Oh, wow. This
Shot
is
glass,
very
yeah.
appropriate for the moment. Maybe this isn't work appropriate, but we'll ask for forgiveness instead of permission.
I have beautiful Colorado.
Beautiful. Colorado is beautiful. We do the lime afterwards?
Yes.
All right. Happy Roo.
Yeah. Usually I don't do the lime, but.
Ah! Well, we're in the bus, so it makes sense to do that. Oh, I need a chaser for that one. What is that? What do you got there? I'm sure that sounds lovely on that new mic.
Don Julio.
Well, I like it. That's pretty good. All right, we got a couple of things that we want to talk with everybody about. We got some other fun stuff we want to get through. So.
You didn't even do your lime.
Yeah, I did. I chewed on it a little bit. I'm not a big lime guy. We have a couple of things that we're working on for this coming Bonnaroo. As you may have heard, we are going to be hosting a couple of hours worth of content on Bonnaroo Radio. Or Radio Bonnaroo? I always mix it up. How are they officially titling it? I'm just going to say
Radio Bonnaroo?
Bonnaroo Radio. Either way.
I'm going to say Radio Bonnaroo, and he's going to say Bonnaroo Radio.
I don't know. We'll just ask Elvis Costello.
Costello.
Somebody gets that reference. I hope so.
No, I don't.
I'll explain it later. So I am looking for a lot of community participation with any of mine and Sharla's projects that we do that are Bonnaroo related. I don't want it to be a Daniel and Sharla thing. I want everybody to be involved, so it's a community thing. So I'm looking for some content from people to host on the radio shows that we're going to be having. So 2 things that I would love to have from people if you would like to submit it. One is just a short bumper to say, hi, my name is so-and-so. You're listening to Storytime at the Roo Bus on Bonnaroo Radio. Just something simple like that. Or if you can send me a short story in 60 seconds or less that I can edit in and use as a story on our radio programs, I would love that as well. So easy way to get that to me. Look in the show notes on this episode, whether you're listening on Spotify or YouTube, there will be a link to our Discord. Put an MP3 or whatever file it is from your phone on the podcast channel on our Roo Bus Discord. If you can get me something that's good quality in 10 seconds, if it's like the station ID thing, or in under 60 seconds, if it's the short little story that I can share, I will almost certainly put it on the radio program. We do have to get all of these things submitted to Bonnaroo by the end of this month. So we have a few weeks. So what I'm highly suggesting is that if you want to do this, submit it in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. So again, find the Roo Bus Discord. It's in our show notes. Go to the podcast channel, put the audio file in there. If it's solid, if it's good content, if it's good quality, I will put it in the show. Do you want to submit anything?
I already did.
You already did. Sharla's got a good one.
I got some more stuff.
Sharla had a good one already that we recorded.
Pretty damn good one.
We're going to record some stuff after this too.
I thought of one I can do.
You want to tell me, or do you want it to be a surprise?
No, I'm not going to tell you right now. But if you're in the group leaders, a Snapchat channel.
Oh my God.
You know.
The Illuminati.
Yeah.
There is kind of another announcement we can talk about. I don't think I have said this on the show already. This is probably not a huge announcement or anything because we were supposed to have done it last year. We got the invitation to do it again. The podcast will be on stage live at Bonnaroo at the Planet Roo area. So if you stopped by last year and you saw our totem booth or all of the Planet Roo area, they have a great new setup. They have a stage that's under a tent where you got shade in there. So we are going to be doing our show in there. Stay tuned for the date and time. I can tell you that it probably won't get in the way of any shows. So we hope to see you there. I've already got one very special surprise guest lined up. I got confirmation on it this past week, and I am not going to tell you who it is. You have to come to the show in person and see us here in about 2 months. Did I tell you who it is? I think I did.
I don't think you did.
Okay, I'll tell you after the show because I want you guys to know, but you have to be there. You have to come to the show.
Weird Al?
I wish. That would be amazing. I'm not closing the door on that. Maybe I need to put the
that
ask
would be
out.
so dope.
We were like, and by the way, we have a surprise. Weird Al is here.
Weird Al.
That is probably not going to happen as much as I would like that to happen. But yes, please come. More info soon. Storytime at the Roo Bus will be live inside Roo.
Please come see us.
Yeah, we can't wait to see
because
you all
we
there.
didn't get to do it last year. Only the What podcast got to do it.
Theirs was good.
Yeah, this was good. I went to it.
Theirs was fantastic. I was there trolling Taco on the front row.
On the front row?
Front row. It's been a long week. It's been a fun week, but a long week. I'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So it won't just be me and Sharla. We'll have a lot of people that you have heard on the show in the past and some surprise guests.
Yeah, we have a lot of surprise guests because I'm going to get a new one. I'm going to get one better than you.
We have a lot to talk about after this show is done recording.
Same one I'm thinking of?
Probably not. Okay, anyways. You and I haven't done a show together in a while. We've been having to do it remote or have guest hosts or whatever. I am throwing this to you. We are going to thank our Patreons.
Okay, here we go.
It is at patreon.com/RooBus. Every penny goes to the Totem Foundation. We have some cool stuff going on with it this year.
Okay, before I read this off, I'm going to let you know where we are with our scholarship applicants. So we have narrowed it down to 7 finalists, and they are all going to interview this upcoming week. So they do a 30-minute interview with our scholarship committee. So we're going to ask them a few questions and just make sure that they are ready to come to Bonnaroo. So kind of...
well, we'll get them ready if they're not.
Kind of make sure that they know what Bonnaroo's about. Kind of make sure that that's really what they want to do with their career, how this would really help them with a career building opportunity. So we're going to pick 3 or 4 of those, I guess.
3.5.
3.5 of those, and then our 3 from last year. So more scholarships than we actually set out this year. So we reached our goal and then some.
I guess I should clarify. When we say a half, what we mean is we had a ticket donated to us. So for the half one, we may not necessarily supply all the supplies, but we can supply the ticket for somebody that already is equipped. Mm-hmm. So that's why we say 3.5. I figured I should probably explain that.
Yeah. But and we had a lot of people that applied that actually attended last year in 2025. So they may already have camping equipment. So that's why we like to do the half scholarship.
But if you're donating, that's what a lot of the money is going to. We're getting them
the camping supplies.
Literally everything they need.
Yeah,
we have some of our team working on a list right now of things that we'll be getting them this year.
Okay.
All right, go through the list. Yeah.
Jordan, Alyssa, Imani, Bradley, Jared, Olivia, Claire, John, Lexi, Danny, Lisa, Butter Crew Nick, Delaney, John with Texas Roo Crew, Brady, I Am Rave Dad, Maddie, Casey with Texas Roo Crew, Christy, Jums, David and Aurora, String Bean, Sack and Jeremy, Amber, JB, Sam, Austin, James, Hygiene Queen, Chris and Shy, Dan, Ernst, Harris, Keith, Casey, Perry, Nick, Maddie from, there he is, Maddie from John Cena's cousins.
He signed it on the table here. Yeah, keep going.
Bruce, Andrew, Kent, Randy, Papa Josh, Bosco, Eric and Ben, Evan, Chloe, and Sean.
Thank you, everybody. 2 shout outs. It was Jum's birthday this past week.
It was.
Happy birthday to probably the sweetest guy I have ever met in my life. And also, I want to give an apology that I didn't get to see Andrea this past week. I didn't get to see Delaney this past week. I always like to go see them when I'm working down in Florida, but I was very, very busy with something that you might have heard about. I like holding this skeleton. Me and Brooklyn gave this thing a name.
Anxious.
No, I was like holding this while Sharla was reading off the names.
And I couldn't read the names.
I was thinking like when we came back, I always like edit in like a thing where it scrolls through the names. When it came back, I was going to be like.
No, I was trying to remember his name. Maddie from John Cena's cousin.
John Cena's cousins. There's a John Cena's cousin sticker on the back back there.
Yeah.
We put on one.
My favorite sticker.
All right, so we do have some.
Do you know there's like 2 or 3 John Cena's cousins camps?
Wait, what?
But I haven't seen any of them.
Well, I know some of those guys. Like, we have so many things to talk about when we get done recording. All right, so I didn't get to see those ladies this past week because I was busy. Again, before I start talking about this, I have to, again, make sure that I clarify this is Daniel speaking. This is not me speaking on behalf of my day job, but it was a fun week seeing this thing go. Thank you to everybody that sent some messages just saying like, hey, man, that's awesome. Congratulations to the team or whatever. It was amazing. Things are still going. They are still going while you were probably listening to this. I think.
See how it is?
Yeah, Splashdown should be on Friday. The Lunar Flyby should be maybe right after you're listening to this. Man, it was awesome. I am so blessed and lucky to have been there. It was an amazing time. I have just been smiling ear to ear all this past week. Things are going great. So, again, just Daniel speaking on behalf of Daniel, not anything else. But, man, this has been one of the coolest weeks of my life.
You should make this a totem.
That is a fantastic idea.
I think Ryan and Jordan had a totem. Like a
The
rocket.
SLS?
No, I think it was just a rocket. I can't remember. Yeah. I think they had some kind of rocket totem last year.
Yeah, and shout out to everybody in Huntsville in particular. A lot of people in Huntsville had a lot to do with this ride, the SLS rocket, that was instrumental in making things happen this week. So shout out to the Rocket City. Shout out to our friends in Houston. So many places.
If you go to Bonnaroo and you work at a certain place, I want to know about it. Tell me or Daniel.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah. We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Why don't you hang on to that? Yeah. All right. I did want to go through some picks of the week to round things out. I have one that is very on theme, but do you have one first?
You go first.
All right. We are going to continue to talk about space stuff because we have watched the first 2 episodes of the new season of For All Mankind, the show on Apple TV that has been going for 5 seasons now, I believe. And it is kind of an alternative history of the space race, how things could have gone differently if they just kept going as hard as they could. And at this point, we have had a Mars base for 20 years in the fictional history of this show, and things are starting to go down. There is a rivalry between Mars and Earth, and I am loving it so far. It's actually starting out a little slow this season compared to previous seasons.
Yeah, I agree.
Which I'm not having that big of a problem with because I know that means things are going to go down at some point.
True.
And in the show, they are starting this little subplot about some of the commercial astronauts potentially going to Titan, one of the moons of Saturn, because they suspect something might be alive over there. And that one rings pretty cool for me for reasons that you can ask me about in person. But yes, I've been loving it. I have loved the show for years. They have announced that it is renewed for season 6, and that will be the final season because at that point it will catch up to present day. I think that's what they intended to do all along.
I'm going to be honest. I was a little disappointed in the first episode. The second episode was a little better. Like you said, it's starting off slow, but I know it's going to get better.
Yeah.
I hope it's not just a whole murder mystery thing the whole season. I hope it does get better than that. But I love this show. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. Not my number 1 or anything, but it definitely is on up there and probably my top 5, 10.
I will say this. I got the opportunity to speak with 2 astronauts that happen to be on a very cool ride right now, as of the moment. And we talked about that show. And they both said that they watched it and thought it was pretty darn accurate. So I think that is a ringing endorsement for how cool the show really is. But enough for me on that. I could talk about these kind of things all day if you let me. What is your pick?
Okay, so this is a hear me out pick.
Oh.
And I've been trying to talk about this one for 2 months, but it has not came up yet on the podcast.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of stuff came out about this person last year or in the past couple of years, whatever. And most of us can agree that this person is not a good person. But
I don't know where this is going.
Hear me out. This is a hear me out. Zach Bryan released a new album back in February. And like I said, there's been so much stuff coming out about him being basically an abusive asshole, an abusive alcoholic asshole.
Ugh.
Yeah, not good. Not great.
Not great, Bob.
I'm not making any excuses for that. But I'm going to say that on his album, there is an anti-ice song.
Oh, I heard that.
That's really good.
It was good.
Now there's a lot of indie artists out there with anti-ice songs right now that are significantly better, and go listen to them. But for a mainstream artist like Zach Bryan to put out an anti-ice song, I think is super cool.
Yeah.
His concert sales have absolutely plummeted. Absolutely plummeted. Before, when I tried to get tickets, like on his last tour, you just couldn't get them. They were like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Like, I was talking to Chloe about it. This was years ago. And she was like, no, this is more expensive than Taylor Swift. Like, I can't afford to go. Yes.
Goodness.
Yes. Like, you just couldn't get the tickets. Now they're not selling out, nothing. Like, I was going somewhere the other day and I got a pop-up notice and it was like, reminder, you can still get tickets to Zach Bryan this Saturday. Like, that's how bad his shows are selling. So I just think it's super cool that a mainstream artist would release a song like that.
You know, along those lines, we should make sure that we shout out Bruce Springsteen.
Yes.
Who was certainly doing that.
Well,
his whole tour at the moment is kind of based on that kind of sentiment.
But I mean, for someone who's not known for...
Yeah. I mean, Springsteen has always been outspoken about things he cares about. Man, I would love to see Springsteen. That's like one of the artists left on my bucket list I would love to see.
Like I said, I'm not making an excuse for being an abusive asshole. Like, nothing will ever excuse that. But I'm just saying, I think that was cool.
Yeah. Everything and everyone is complex. It's difficult.
Yes.
But that is cool. And I will listen to some more of that. You and I have seen him before, and you went with your brother Cody to see him at the Atlanta Mercedes Dome, whatever they call it.
The State Farm. It was at State Farm.
Oh, was it? I thought it was at the Mercedes Dome.
I don't remember. No, it was at State Farm.
We did go in the Mercedes.
No, it was at the Mercedes Dome. It was it was.
You and I saw the Stones in the Mercedes Dome 2 years ago, and that place is like a spaceship. It's
really
crazy.
Is, yeah.
It's very futuristic. No, I'm going to State Farm with a lot of the crew in July to go see that Tame show over there.
Yeah.
So more to come on that. I think we're planning a bit of a meetup at the Atlanta Tame show, the first night, the one that was added after the fact. A lot of us are going there. Shayna, yes, I know we have plans to make. We're going to be seeing her next weekend. She's coming down this way.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to record something with her while she's here. We're going to take her to some of our favorite Huntsville spots and get some totem stuff done. All right, that is a lot this week. It's nice to be back in here finally. I think you'll be seeing a lot of episodes from inside this thing in the coming 2 months. We'll do some maybe location shoots too around Huntsville. We've always meant to do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Maybe one at Straight Dale. We did that one for our special there.
We should do one, at Straight Dale. That'd be super cool.
More to come on that. Me and Sharla will brainstorm some cool stuff, but you'll see a lot more in here in the coming 2 months because things are getting serious. It's time to start thinking about your plans. It's time to start thinking about your packing. It's time to start thinking about a lot of crazy things that you're going to be getting into here in about 2 months. It's getting real. We're 66, 67 days away. Depends on when you listen to this or watch this or whatever. Do you have any final thoughts?
Do you have any final thoughts?
I said it differently. I didn't say, do you have anything else?
Oh, my God.
I was just messing with you. Thank you.
Yes, I do have final thoughts. Yes. After we finish recording, I got to tell you my plans.
We have so much that we have to talk about. Maybe we need to have a whole after show. It's like all the things we said we were going to talk about privately.
That would be cool. Like a Patreon-only after show, and we tell all the secrets.
I'm keeping this camera rolling because we got to record some stuff for the radio show, so let's do that.
Yeah, and it's like me dropping these bombs on you.
Okay, Patreons, you heard that. This is going to be in your inbox in the coming week because we're about to record it right now. All right, for everybody else, thank you so much. Good to have you back in here. Get out there and radiate positivity. We'll see you next week.
Bye.